I also want you to understand a little bit about God's grace. First of all, I use the initials of grace to help understand what grace is. You use GRACE, God's riches at Christ's expense. The great thing about this is just understanding that everything that we can possibly have and who God is, His promises, His attributes, all these things are available to us because of what Jesus did for us at Christ's expense. God's riches at Christ's expense. And so His love, His forgiveness, all these things are available. And they were things we did not deserve. But because Jesus paid that price for us, we can experience the gift of grace. Very famous passage, 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. We want you to understand that God's grace is all you need. It's sufficient for you. And you don't have to worry. God can handle your weaknesses. In fact, He can demonstrate His strength when you are weak. And He can be all that you need. Another great promise, John 1:16 says, for from the fullness of His love, we have all received grace upon grace. Or another translation says, one blessing after another. Because of God's love for you, you experience blessing in your life. And this is something we don't deserve, and yet He gives us what we don't deserve in His grace. And that grace can be experienced by faith alone. Ephesians 2:8-9 says, for it is by grace that you've been saved through faith, and this is not of yourselves. It's not something you earned because you worked for it, but it is a gift of God, not of works, so that no one can boast. And so you're left with one final response. Hebrews 4:16 says, let us then draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in a time of need. Just know that you can draw near to God and He will draw near to you. God loves you, has graciously poured out His love through the person of His Son. Forgiveness is available, His love is available, and His grace is all you could ever need. If you are weak, if you are struggling, if you are hurting, would you trust God with that and let Him quiet you with His love? Would you let Him sing over you? Would you let Him pour out His promises into your life? If you are unsure of your relationship with Christ, or you really want to wake up and be back on fire with Christ, would you talk to someone tonight? In your small groups, talk to a youth leader, talk to someone, talk to the friend that invited you tonight. But know that you are deeply loved, that His forgiveness is available, and that His grace is all you could ever need.